Right. Hello, everyone. Sorry for the delay. So, I'm here with all of you to, to share a couple of things about the speaking module of IELTS part. Okay. Well, so let's wait. So I can see people are joining there, and you can see that things are coming up. Okay, fine. So now let me just brief you about this particular intention, like why we started this, and why I really want to do it. Okay. Well. Okay. Yes. Yeah. So I really wanted to help people, those who are preparing for the IELTS speaking test. Okay. And as you all know, this particular one is all about the speaking part, where we have a couple of sections, and we also have things where we have to satisfy in terms of parameters which they use in order to evaluate your responses. Okay, so that is one area that we will cover up. Okay, and also, like, we would see the sample answers, basically. Yes, so how we can actually use this answers, and how well we can deal with it. Okay, and also, like, we would see like how we attain a maximum score in here. Okay, and also we shall make sure that we understand what are the difficulties that we may face here while answering these questions. Okay, so for those who are new to this particular test, or those who are preparing fresh, so we would first try to understand what are the parameters that are used here. Okay, and how well we can actually understand all that. Okay, so you can always message in the comment. Okay, and you also can try to understand, or try to ask me if you have any questions about the whole test. Yes. Okay. All right. Meanwhile, let me first take you through the details of the test. Okay. Right. Okay. So this particular test actually has three different parts, as you know. So this one is about the part 1, part 2, and part 3 of the test. Okay, and part 1 is actually about the questions which are going to be asked, right? And these are basically about our everyday topics, basically, where it could be about our people, culture, places, hobbies, friends, okay, or maybe neighborhood, like all of these topics that they usually ask for, in fact. Okay, so this is one thing here. Okay, and the second thing is that part 1 is the section where they're going to ask you about 5 to 6 different questions, basically. Okay, so 5 to 6 different questions, and here the examiner is going to ask you the questions one by one. Okay, and these questions have to be answered in about 3 to 4 sentences, I can say, like that. Okay, so why 3 to 4 sentences here? So let's try to understand that. Okay, so the 3 to 4 sentences would actually help the examiner to understand, like, how is your language and how well you are able to use it in terms of pronunciation, in terms of language, okay, or in terms of fluency, or it could be vocabulary, all right, or it could be grammatical range and accuracy. So these are the areas which they mostly look at when it comes to IELTS speaking, in fact. Okay, well, so that is one thing which is important here. Okay, so now let's see how well we deal with these. Okay, so I'll first start with the introduction, and mainly let me take you through the parts, okay, the samples as well as the parameters, in fact. Okay, so I'll take you through that part. Okay, fine. So first one is basically about the part 1, where they, as I told you, they ask you questions about our everyday topics which we deal with us in our daily life, like that. And part 2 is actually about a presentation. It's called presentation, actually. So this presentation, in fact, means that you have to ensure that you speak for 2 minutes here on a particular given topic. Okay, so you have to do that, and then you will be able to use the language effectively in terms of the pronunciation, or in terms of vocabulary that you have the capacity on. Okay, so all those things actually have to be used at. So here you will have 1 minute time to prepare yourself, and you also can make notes whenever you would want to. Okay, so this is one. So that 1 minute time you have to effectively make notes. So we will also discuss about that, like how do we make notes in this 1 minute time, and how well we can manage this thing. Okay, that's how it is, right? And another thing is part 3. So part 3 is basically about the questions which are mainly based on section 2, like that. Okay, so that's how it is. It's going to be the set of questions. So they're going to ask you something about 7 to 8 different kinds of questions, like that. So mainly here it's important for us to understand that these ones, okay, so these questions are basically going to be asked, okay, about the topic of section 2. So that's something which is very, very important here, like that. Okay, so this is something that's crucial. Okay, so this is about the 3 different parts that we actually have here. Okay, well, so this is one thing, and apart from this, yeah, okay, all right, so there are 4 different parameters which they are going to use in order to evaluate your responses. Okay, so 4 different sections, like 4 different parameters they are going to use. So what are these 4 different parameters? So one parameter that we have here is fluency and coherence. Okay, fluency and coherence. So we'll try to understand, like, what is the meaning of fluency here, and what's the meaning of coherence, in fact. Okay, right. So I'll come back to that later. Well, so second thing is the pronunciation part. Okay, pronunciation part. So pronunciation means like the use of intonated tones, basically, like how well you intonate or how well you modulate your responses. So that is also important here, ideally. Okay, and also it's important that we see the fact that we should not focus on the accent part here. Okay, so do not worry about the accent that is used here, right? So we need to only focus on the fact that we need to only modulate the tone. Okay, we need to only
Rupees 8,000 received on phone pay.
Right, so that's how it is. Well, okay, anyway, so this is one, and apart from this we also have another thing, that is grammatical range and accuracy. Okay, grammatical range and accuracy. So grammatical range and accuracy means the kind of grammar that we use here, okay, is something very, very important for us to look at. Yeah, so grammatical range and accuracy here in the sense that we need to make sure that we use grammar, and especially focused on the parameters, like for example using compound complex sentence structures, using the grammatical ranges effectively. Okay, all these things. So that's what's very, very important here, like that. All right. Okay, so this is one thing, right? Okay. Yes, so that is one. And also another important thing is lexical resources, as I can say. Okay, lexical resources. So lexical resources mean that the kind of words that you use here is very, very important. Okay, the kind of words that you use here, that's the main thing, like that. So when I say words, what do I mean by that? So let's say if I have to give an answer, so maybe I will have to use adjectives, I will have to use adverbs, I will have to use nouns, I have to use phrasal verbs, or I have to use the idioms, like that. Okay, so a lot of things basically. Okay, so that's how it is, right? So this is one thing. So all these things are actually kind of discussed by us here. Okay, so I'm just waiting for all of them to join. So just until then, I'm just giving you an overview of how the test is actually, like that. Okay, well, so this is one basic information that we really need to know, okay, when we deal with it. Okay, right. Okay. Now the next one is what kind of questions that we are going to ask. I mean, we're going to get from the examiner on the day of exams. Okay, like this. So this is something that we need to also look at. Yeah. Well, so let me give you some sample questions of that, or let me give you some idea about these questions here. Okay, right. Okay, so some sample questions. Yeah, all right. First one. So let's say if the questions are about jewelry. Yeah, jewelry. So how the questions are going to be basically, like, how often do you wear jewelry? So why or why not? If this is the question, okay, this is a sample question that I am trying to give you. So how often do you wear jewelry? So this is one. So I am taking the questions from the 15th IELTS 15 edition actually. Okay, like this, right? Okay, so if this is the question here, so then how do we answer this question? Let's say, how often do you wear jewelry? So question is very simple, that they want to know how often we wear it, like that. How do we answer this actually? Well, we say we have to divide this answer into three different parts actually. Okay, well, we say how often. Let's say usually I wear jewelry, okay, on certain occasions. Let's say if it is a festival or if there is any special occasion at home. This is one. Okay, and next one is about often, like how often I wear it or how rarely you wear it. So you can actually divide your answer into two different parts, in fact. Okay, so we will see that how a sample answer would be. Okay, I repeat the question here. How often do you wear jewelry? You say, well, I wear jewelry quite less comparatively any other ornaments, as I really don't feel comfortable myself, as I have to go to office on daily basis, and since my office doesn't allow me to wear any kind of jewelries, it's really rare that I get opportunities to wear jewelries. However, I really make sure that I wear these jewelries on special occasions such as marriages or anniversaries or maybe birthday parties, where I really get a chance to get together with my loved ones. So this way you can divide your answer, like one, usually you wear it in certain occasions, rarely you wear it, or you may divide this into different parts where weekdays and weekends, actually weekdays and weekends. So weekdays means that like on weekends you get a lot of opportunities to go out to meet your friends or maybe attend birthday parties or marriages, so you get a lot of chances or opportunities to wear jewelry. Okay, so you can say that. However, on weekdays when I'm mostly at work, I don't really get time or opportunity to wear them, as it's restricted in my workplace. You see that it should be seamless. The most important part here in speaking is that it should be seamless. Okay, and we need to ensure that we actually give the answer in a natural way, like that. So here when I say lexical resources, you may not have to use them quite like a dictionary word, or you may not have to use it like the words straight from a dictionary or straight from the academic textbooks. No, you don't have to, because here the purpose is to check like how naturally you can express the language. Okay, so that's the reason it's really important for us that we keep our answers simple in 3 to 4 sentences and try to make the answers look natural. So this is something very, very important here for us. Okay, while we do this, so we have to maintain proper intonation and stress, or in short I can say voice modulations, basically. Okay, voice modulation, so that is important here. And the next thing is the fluency part. Okay, so when I say fluency, it doesn't mean that we need to speak fast. So what's important here is that we need to speak error-free and also seamlessly, as I said. So we should not get ourselves interrupted, or we should not use the fillers. Like mostly the problem is like we use or like these kind of fillers. Okay, so they should be avoided, in fact. Okay, and we need to ensure that we don't really use a lot of fillers. Okay, and self-correction is another problem that we usually face here. Like we say a word which we really feel that is not correct, or it is wrong, or in some way like that. So we try to come back and correct it. Okay, so that is something which should be avoided, because you should not do it, as this would affect your fluency as well. Okay, so this is something very, very important here, I did. Okay, fine. So this is another thing. That's about fluency. Okay, and in order to help you understand like how to start the answers, so we would see some more answers, and we will see a couple of phrases that would help you to understand how to start. Okay, like this, right? Okay. Well, so that is one. So you can just post if you have any questions out here. Right. Okay. Now let's go to another question. I hope the first question is clear to all of you. Okay. Right. So what kind of jewelry do you like the best? Okay. What type of jewelry do you like the best? So let's say if you see this question is very simple and a day-to-day question, okay, which we can definitely answer if we have the clarity of thought, like what I want to say, or you quickly have to select a particular type of jewelry. Like you may ask me like what kind of jewelry I can say here. I mean, I can think of. Okay, so here let's say you can think of designer jewelry, you can think of antique jewelry, you can talk about contemporary. Okay, you can talk about Malabar designs, you can talk about the daily wears, right? So you have many options out here. So the most important thing is that pick up any one of these types, okay, which may not be true in your real life, which may not be a fact, but it's okay, because they are only testing your language here. Okay, so you don't have to worry about how am I going to say it, or what kind of jewelry that I'm going to select. So you might have heard about these questions, okay, or these types of jewelry some way like that. Okay, so you need to ensure that you use these things. Okay, so that's the main one. Okay, right. So let's see how do we answer this question here. Okay, well, so let me repeat the question, okay, for you here. Right, so the question is, what type of jewelry do you like the best? Well, so start with a very simple way of paraphrasing the question, okay? And while you paraphrase, please ensure that you do not use the same words that they have used in the question. Like, what type of jewelry do you like the best? So if they have used the word like, you should use a synonym of like, not the same word. Okay, and the word best also could be replaced. Okay, So in place of best, you can say mostly. Okay. In place of like, you say love. Okay. And in place of type, you can say kind. Like, what kind of jewelry do you like the best? Or what type of jewelry that you like the best? Like this. Okay. So this way, you need to ensure that you have to make sure that you use proper synonyms for the words, because this would prove that you really have enough vocabulary, or you have the ability to use the language flexibly. So that's something very, very important here. Okay, fine. So this is one. Right, so let me give you a sample answer here. The question is, what type of jewelry do you like the best? Well, personally, I love to wear antique designs of jewelry as they look elegant on me, and I also strongly feel that they depict our rich heritage of our country, and we really feel so special when we wear them to any kind of functions, as they are catching eyes of people and people are praising you around. So I feel good about it. Not only that, so these antique designs are quite affordable, and I don't really have to spend much, or they don't dig a deep hole in my pocket. So I really love them to wear on maybe daily basis, or occasionally. They fit all the situations. That's why I love them. You see that this answer is a very simple one, a very simple, yet at the same time it is actually giving a complete idea to the examiner about my sentence structures, about the kind of words that I used. You see, I used the word elegant, right? And the word special, okay? And also I used an idiom, like it doesn't dig a deep hole in my pocket. Means it's not very costly for me, like that. So that is something important here. I did. Okay, fine. So this is one. So this way. And while I said this, I started with the redundant word like well. Okay, so I used the word well, basically. So the word well here is the one which is called a redundant word, which is basically used by mostly the native speakers, okay, in order to start a sentence or maybe a dialogue. So it's just a normal expression. Okay, so by using these, you really make the examiner feel that you have a very good control on the language. Okay, and also you sound closer to a native speaker by doing so. Okay, and it also gives you a head start to your answer. Like most of the times we have this difficulty where we feel like how to start, where to start from. So that's a big question. So using a redundant word like well, in fact, actually, okay, fortunately, I mean, or personally, like these kind of words give you a head start to your answers. That is one thing, okay? And then paraphrase the question, basically. Paraphrasing, as I said, you have to retell it in your own words. So that's the most important thing, ideally. Okay? Yeah. Well, so this is one thing. So now let's move on to the next one. Okay, so that is the next question that I mean to say. Okay, so the next one here is, when do people like to give jewelry in your country? So when do people like to give jewelry in your country? So they're asking us when people like to give. So when means it's like different situations. It could be marriage, it could be naming ceremony, it would be housewarming ceremony, it could be anniversaries, it could be send-offs, any situation is fine. Okay, so the most important thing here is that there is no wrong answer as such in IELTS speaking. Okay, as long as you stick to the question. So the answer technically is not wrong enough. Okay, so the whole focus is on the language here. So don't worry whether you're saying housewarming ceremony, or whether you're saying weddings, or whether you're saying baby showers, or whether send-offs, anything is fine. So they don't check it factually. All right, so the whole focus is on language. Well, so let me give you a sample answer for this. So the question is, when do people like to give jewelry in your country? Well, in my country, people give or gift jewelry in different occasions. But mostly I have seen people gifting jewelry, it could be gold or silver, mostly on weddings, as it's really considered as the most auspicious occasions in anybody's life. And usually in my country, weddings or housewarming ceremonies are held in a very celebrated manner, so where they call many people or well wishers to the place, and they want all of them to wish them good luck for their future life. So hence these are the situations where people consider giving golden ornaments or silver ornaments or maybe jewelries in these occasions, just to wish them good luck wholeheartedly. That's a certain way to express their love towards people in my country. Well, you can say that. Okay, so you can use the words like affection, right? How affectionate they are, express their gratitude, express their love towards the family members. Okay, and grand manner, lavish manner. So these weddings are celebrated, or weddings are held lavishly, right? So the word lavish, the word grand, okay, or celebrations. So these words actually go well into your vocabulary in this case. That's the most important thing. Okay, fine. That's how the questions out here basically, right? So that is about the third question, the sample question that I'm actually trying to talk about. Okay, right. Okay, good. Right. Fine. So now that is about part one questions actually. Well, these are just the samples, okay? So I mean, in the coming sessions, I'm going to give you more about these points, and we shall discuss more questions, yeah? But for now, I hope you understood the parameters which they usually use in order to evaluate the responses, okay? And how do you start these questions, what is paraphrasing, what are redundant words, okay? And also I hope you understood like how you need to approach these questions, okay? And in what style that you need to deliver the answers. Well, okay, so this is my first attempt to reach you all, guys. So all right, keep supporting the cause, and you know, it's just to help as many people as possible in order to understand the test format, and also help prepare them, okay, in order to be confident on the day of the test basically. So that's the thing, okay? And another fact is that we are going to have these sessions more in numbers in the future, okay? And we would ensure that we will discuss more questions, okay? and also we would see the varieties of questions of different contexts. Okay, and most importantly, we would take up the recent questions which have been attended by our students. Okay, those who write the test in the same month. Okay, so I would collect the questions from them, or maybe we would source it from a different source, and we would discuss them here so that you have a better idea about what kind of questions are going to be asked, and how well you will have to tackle them. Okay, and if there are no questions further, so then I would just want to take leave from you all guys, and keep following up, and make sure that you understand the test better and the approaches much better before you go to the actual test. Okay, and for more information you can always follow us on YouTube or Instagram or LinkedIn or even on Facebook, right? Or you can also log into our website www.akankshaelearningcourse.com. all right, okay then. So I would come back with some more new questions, and also the strategies in order to use the answers for these questions. Okay, all right, until then, take care, stay safe, bye bye.